my fellow world citizens, more supportive readings towards 9/11 military hijacking, remote hijacking, military coup, and re-annexation of the United States of America. All 9/11 flights were delayed for remote military hijacking convenience, guiding them to GPS programmed targets, flying over numerous military bases without interceptions by NORAD fighters. Flight 93 was shot down when pilot engineer regained control to fly away. Related article, New Pearl Harbor, 9/11 motives and means. Flight American Airlines 11 767-223-ER. Scheduled departure 7:45 a.m. Actual departure 7:59 a.m. Delay 14 minutes. Transponder off 8:20 a.m. Crashed 8:46.26 a.m. United Airlines 175 767-222. Scheduled departure 7:58 a.m. Actual departure 8:14 a.m. Delay 16 minutes. Transponder off 8:46 a.m. Crashed 9:02 a.m. American Airlines 77 757-223. Reportedly passed overhead the White House and entered a tight 270-degree turn heading for the U.S. Department of Defense building, the Pentagon. Scheduled departure 8:10 a.m. Actual departure 8:20 a.m. Delay 10 minutes. Transponder off 8:52 to 8:56 a.m. New York Times. Crashed Pentagon 9:37 a.m. Most probably originally programmed to hit White House before 9:45 a.m. had to be reprogrammed for Pentagon due to loss of UA-93 remote control. United Airlines 93 757-200. Gregory Callahan 41. Newark International Airport Tower Controller. Scheduled departure 8:01 a.m. At about 8:40 a.m., Gregory Callahan cleared United Airlines Flight 93 for departure. Actual departure 8:42 a.m. Should have taken off around 8:06 a.m. That will make the departure times 6 to 7 minutes apart. Delay 41 minutes, about 39 minutes. Reasons for this delay is still unknown, but convenient for remote programming strategy. The transponder of 9:10 to 9:20 a.m. The jet was hijacked about 45 minutes later. 9:36 a.m. abrupt turn west of Cleveland. Shot down 10:03 a.m. Most likely was programmed to hit Pentagon before 9:32 a.m. when bombs reportedly went off. After 9:56 a.m., Bush and Cheney conferred on actions to be taken. Shutdown order has been confirmed. 10 a.m., Flight 93 transponder gives brief signal, meaning the pilots got control. 10:01 a.m., local pilot sees Flight 93 rocking back and forth, meaning there is a tug of war going on between the pilot and the remote controller. 10:03 a.m., Flight 93 was shot down by a military jet in the back. Question is, why they, military remote hijackers, shot down Flight UA-93? The most scholarly analysis would suggest that the remote hijackers, Pentagon's Crisis Action Team, CAT, chose airports and flights very wisely so that the actual crash times were within an early hour window, 8:45 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. on a Monday morning before government works effectively, yet to inflict massive casualty dubbed spectacular by then US Intelligence Director George Tenet and counterterrorism czar Richard Clarke. They also chose sets of two adjacent prominent popular public structures separated by hundreds of miles to divert public focus and attention. Thus, Flight 11 and Flight 175, both Boeing 767, were delayed approximately 14 minutes so that they could hit the program targets WTC around 8:45 a.m. and 9 a.m. Actual 8:46 a.m. and 9:02 a.m. Flight 77 and Flight 93, both Boeing 757, were also delayed conveniently so that they could hit program targets Pentagon and White House around 9:30 a.m. and 9:45 a.m. The most wise speculation would be that explosives were also timed in those buildings, programmed around the intended crash timings. That is why bomb exploded in Pentagon around 9:32 a.m. before the delayed plane crash. But the remote hijacking started losing control with UA-93 on and off, beginning at 9:10 a.m., which led to Air Traffic Controller ATC early rumors of losing UA-93. False threats to party in ATC also led to evacuation of ATC, leaving emergency transponder codes on the ATC screens from desperate pilots unattended and unanswered. Since the planned bombs went off in Pentagon around 9:32 a.m. and remote hijackers experienced trouble with UA-93, they needed new strategy to reprogram Flight 77 hit Pentagon as quickly as possible, passing over White House and taking a miraculous 270-degree turn at 500 plus miles per hour without rocking, in absence of anti-craft guns from Pentagon or missiles from NORAD fighter planes following standard procedure. Around 9:36 a.m., remote hijackers got back control of UA-93 over west of Cleveland, Ohio, and most likely reprogrammed for new destination as White House. At 9:45, the Secret Service ordered the complete evacuation of the White House. United Flight 93 was still airborne and heading towards Washington. Agents ran from office to office, screaming, get out now, this is real." William Langley, Telegraph, December 16, 2001. But they lost control again at 10 a.m. when they decided to shoot it down before it goes out of range and lands somewhere else. They had to shoot down UA-93 to conceal remote military hijacking, because if escorted by fighters to nearby military base or airport, it would have been revealed that there were no physical hijackers. Did you know that George Bush wasn't the president during 9/11? The unconstitutional shadow government, COG, in existence since 1980, beginning with Reagan-Bush administration, where Cheney, Richard Clarke, and Rumsfeld were regulars, took over command, and Cheney and Clarke were making all the decisions. That is why President Bush and Colin Powell's phones were jammed throughout 9/11 saga, and Bush didn't know what to do after the paid goat reading in Florida, except wheeling around in the sky and going to Barksdale Air Force Base to be baptized in the Bin Laden story and future war on terror. Probably that's why Bush was eager to invade Iraq, saying, quote, when we are going after Iraq, unquote, day after 9/11, when the fire in Pentagon and WTC still burning, and people, including men and women in uniform, desperately waiting to be rescued beneath the rubbles and hot melted steel. Vice President Dick Cheney ordered Flight 77 to hit Pentagon, as per then Transportation Secretary Norman Mineta's testimony. Quote, during the time that the airplane was coming into the Pentagon, there was a young man who would come in and said to the Vice President, quote, the plane is 50 miles out, the plane is 30 miles out, unquote. And when it got to the, quote, the plane is 10 miles out, unquote. The young man also said to the Vice President, quote, do the orders still stand? And the Vice President said, of course the orders still stand. Have you heard anything to the contrary? Unquote. My fellow Americans, America was attacked on 9/11/2001 by its own military, coordinating intelligence, government, State Department, FBI, FA, and that truth must come out to have peace and justice on planet Earth. Without this truth, our planet is in real danger, and our civilization is also in real danger. God bless our heavenly world. God bless all wonderful people on earth to live happily in peace and coexistence.